In this video we're going to look at Windows 3.1. Now Microsoft, stop reinventing the wheel every time. You've got Windows 3.1, nobody needs Windows 7. 3.1 does everything that Windows 7 does. You don't need 64-bit support. Who has a 64-bit processor anyway? Not me, even though I have 4 gig of RAM. Windows XP mode, you don't need that. Why would you need that if you've got a system as awesome as Windows 3.1? You just don't need it. And an aero theme. I made an aero theme for Windows 3.1 and I'm going to show you it. But this Windows 7 thing is a waste of money. You may as well just buy 3.1. It does everything that you need it to do. And it does more than Windows 7, because unlike Windows 7, it's just awesome. It has everything that you could ever want out of an operating system, and I think that you should use it, even on your new hardware. And because Windows is full of awesome, we just type Win. Now the first thing you're going to notice is the nice tones from Windows 3.1. The way it just looks complete. It works well and it just looks like a good operating system. Let's take a look at the control panel. See, it's not cluttered. All the information that you ever need is there, and you can find stuff easily. We've got the README file, which tells you all about Windows 3.1. Absolutely brilliant. Windows 7 doesn't tell you how to access floppy disks from older compact desk pros. This does. This is superior, obviously. There's all the Windows setup information. You can change it, of course. There's all your network settings. See, Windows 7 doesn't have nice drop downs like this for its configuration menus. PIF editor. Print manager in case you want to print. It's so much easier to find your way around the system. Got a couple of games in there. Looks solitaire. Doesn't have any of that 3D crap. It's simple and to the point. Minesweeper. Again, none of that 3D crap from Vista and 7. File manager, find all your files easy. It's not cluttered at all, look. Now you'll notice that there's no web browser. Well, you don't really need the web. You know what's on the web. So if you can't find the web browser, draw one. Look, there's the back button. There's the forward button. There's the home button. And then we could put the URL here. YouTube.com. Nice legible writing, and we can even draw the little YouTube video window. Look, there it is. And we can emulate when it crashes, see? How awesome is that? Of course, it's never complete without the little loading thing. Now we'll just put the little bars at the bottom. There you go, YouTube in its glory. Look, we can even draw the little arrow things that it has. Look, there's the play button. There's the pause button. There's the progress bar. There's the sound. And there's full screen. Brilliant, look. Even we can put the comments in, look. Look, there's the comments. There's the related videos. And there's a little search menu, look. So you don't need the internet when you can make the internet yourself. That's the advantage. Even when you've got no networking, this still works. Look, you can even do Google. Look, there's the search box. There's the buttons. Of course, they made it ridiculously big now. And we'll do the logo. Look, we'll even do it in black and white. Google. Then we can put search. And IFL. And then we can search for stuff in there. Now if we want to be really professional, we can use the text feature for Google. So we can draw the little search box. Put the search boxes here. So let's say search IFL, and we can put TextSnap in here and search for it. Of course we need the logo as well, so there we go, Google. And there you go, it's full of Win. It's much better than using IE or Opera or Google Chrome. You don't need it. Now say for instance you want Google Chrome on Windows 3.1. Now it's not going to run because they seem to think that Windows 7 is better than 3.1. So we can just write Google Chrome here. We can choose the colour scheme. So let's say for example you've got the colours from the logo. You don't even have to put them in a particular order. Just do them how you feel. File, save. We'll call it chrome.bmp. And there you go. You've got Chrome on your hard disk. It couldn't be simpler than that. And also you might want instant messaging. So you can fire that up and you can type a message. And you can print it and send it to your friend and they can send you one back. Instant messaging with a delay. How awesome is that? You want to do screen recording? Just draw a picture of a screen. Say you want to make a screencast for YouTube. Draw the little Cam Studio borders. And put screen recording. There you go, you're screen recording. Right there, right in front of you. A masterpiece. Instead of downloading these programs, make them yourself. It couldn't be any simpler. Just do it. It's so much more fun doing it this way. Using Paint is the ultimate tool in Windows 3.1. You can't beat it. Then you've got some other programs. Look, if you want to know what the time is, you needn't look at your watch. You can even turn the date off if you don't want it. And look, you can put it down there just like Windows 7. Or you can have it in a little sidebar. Look, you could put your little calculator there as well, and it works. Got a little media player there, which doesn't work because there's no sound card, but you don't need a sound card for the awesomeness, because if you want some music, you can just go da 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 da, and you got some music. If you want to write a letter to a friend, you can do it here. There you go. You don't need all these modern programs. You can just use what's been given to you in 3.1. 3.1 is going to make computing fun again. You can't beat 3.1. It's just not going to happen. How can you have fun with computers when you've got all these programs that do this stuff? It doesn't give you much imagination to play with. And look, notepads. People use Notepad every day. It's not changed a bit. Look at it. It's exactly the same, just has different window borders. So if you can use Notepad now, why can't you use it on 3.1? If you're a web developer, I suggest you use Windows 3.1. You don't need any of the newer ones. You don't need Linux. You don't need newer versions of Windows. 3.1 is there for everything. And as I've said, if it doesn't have the application you want, fucking draw it. You don't need it there. You can draw it yourself. Look, whee! There you go. There it is. It's drawn. And there you go, there's the Aero theme. See, it says Aero there, and there's the Aero colour scheme. And there's the fucking sidebar. You don't need a newer OS to have a sidebar. And it's got no 3D compositing, because compositing's as good as a boulder. You just don't need it. Yeah, a fucking boulder. A fucking stone boulder in your room, yeah. What use is that going to be? It's even got a little recorder, look. But yeah, Windows 3.1 rocks. I suggest anyone uses it. For any reason, you don't need any other operating system, and if you haven't figured out this is an April Fool's joke, then pfft, yeah, I'll see you in the next video.